Well, hello guys, welcome back to another film photography video, and today's video is going to be a special one because in today's video I'm going to be shooting medium format film for the first time, and the camera we're going to be using is the Voigtländer Bessa. And I'm not talking about the Voigtländer Bessa R2A or whichever fancy Leica M-mount Voigtländer Bessa you're thinking about. I'm talking about the Voigtländer Bessa. I'm talking about 1929 to 1949 120 film Voigtländer Bessa, this thing. I found this camera on a flea market and I just had to buy it. I mean, look at this thing. And let's hope it still works, and let's hope we can take some nice pictures today. I have been getting pretty unlucky with the clouds, but right now we have nice sunlight, and I mean, this location looks amazing, so let's take a picture. Giving my Solomons the life they deserved. You guys remember when that meme was a thing? Anyways, I'm trying to get on the other side of this power line, so I don't have it in every picture I take today. There we go. Is that in focus? Yes. Let's just hope this thing doesn't have any light leaks. Well, you guys might know that I usually prefer the shutter sound of SLR cameras because it's louder and just more fun to hear. But also, you guys just heard how quiet this thing is. I'm actually kind of scared I'm not even taking pictures because I actually cannot hear the shutter. So yeah, let's just hope I'm even taking pictures right now. I'm really hoping this thing works. It would be so cool to use this camera more often. Not just have it sit on the shelf. Not actually being a camera, just kind of as a decoration. This shutter button is in a very weird space right here. I'm thinking there has to be a second shutter button, but I don't think there is. This is just how you use this camera. So a few months ago I made a video called Shooting the Oldest Film Camera I Own, which was a video about the Balda Baldinette, a 35mm film camera made in 1950. Now, those of you who listened to my intro earlier are gonna know that this camera is actually older than that. I don't know exactly when this model was made, but somewhere between 1929 and 1949 is what Wikipedia says. So effectively, this is now the new oldest film camera I own. But in terms of how to use this camera, it's actually very similar. Basically the same. We start off by pressing a little button down here to get the lens out of the camera body. Then there is a little lever that we need to pull to activate the shutter. Then aperture is changed with this little dial down here, changing to the different aperture values. And shutter speed is this front wheel right here. You can see this red marker. It's currently on the 1/125th of a second. This is how you change the shutter speed. And then for focusing, you have a focusing scale on the back of the camera, and then you have the same scale in front of here with this little metal thing indicating where you focus to currently. You check on the back which aperture you need and which number you need to set your focus to get the area you want to be in focus, and then you just set the focus with this very front element. The only thing that's really different is loading the film, which is why I'm pretty sure I messed it up on this camera earlier when I loaded the film. Advancing the film is, again, pretty much the same. You have a little kind of dial down here which you just turn to advance the film. Now on this camera what's different is you need to look at these red windows at the back where numbers are going to increase. And once the number 4 shows up, because I just took the third picture, now the number 4 has shown up, which means I'm on the 4th picture. I'm not sure which window the number is supposed to be in. Is the 4 supposed to be here or here? I don't know. I'm just putting it here and hoping it's gonna work. So I'm already very used to using cameras like this, and I'm having no trouble using it. But there's one thing about this camera that does really suck, which is composing. And I'm not talking about composing in terms of, oh, there's no grid lines in there, so I can't do rule of thirds composition for better composition. No, I don't know what's going to be in my shot. I just do not know. The two options you have is either this little folding viewfinder, which is not like, there's no glass or crystal elements in there, nothing like that. It's just two little metal thingies with holes in them, and then you look through there and you can kind of see, if I put this close to the camera, kind of see your frame lines, what's going to be in your shot. But it's not very precise, so I have no idea when my camera right now is actually leaving the shot, because depending on where my eye sits, it looks completely different, and it's not a very precise viewfinder. Don't worry, there is another alternative. There also is kind of like a waist level viewfinder, which is very trendy right now. I mean, how many YouTubers are you currently seeing, or people on Instagram and stuff like that, using these waist level viewfinders to compose the images like this. It's very sneaky for like street photography, you know, this camera being very sneaky. I'm gonna take this out in the city and nobody's even going to notice I'm taking pictures. Anyways, this waist level viewfinder is an absolute nightmare. You have to look into it very precisely to even see anything. Once you turn the camera even a little bit, the entire image just vanishes, and again you just have absolutely no idea what's going to be at the edges of your frame, what's going to be included and what's not going to be included. You just basically know what the center of your image is going to look like. The entire rest you can't see at all. One thing this camera doesn't have is a way to prevent double exposures. So the shutter, you can just take as many pictures on the same frame of film as you want. The shutter will work every single time. It doesn't have any mechanism like, for example, my Canon A1 does, where unless you rewind the film to the next frame, you can't use the camera, the shutter won't work. This camera doesn't have that, and many of these old cameras don't have that, but I have a problem now. Did I already take this sixth picture? I actually don't know. I believe that I did wind the film, but I also may not have done that. I just have to film myself winding the film every time, so I remember that I did it. Please don't mind how absolutely sweaty I am. It's like the sun's gonna go down in like less than 2 hours, but it's still so hot. Anyways, just gonna load up a second roll. Oh, I forgot that I have to cut this open. Can I manage to open it up? It is about a week later. I didn't really get too many pictures on my first outing shooting medium format film, mainly because I was just kind of scared that something might not work out. So I decided to take pretty much every picture 2 times. And I'm lucky I did, because things did indeed not work out. But because I didn't know if this camera even still worked, I waited for the film to be developed and scanned before ever loading up a second roll. Well, I got the film back from the lab a few days ago now, and yeah. So the main issue I'm having is that for whatever reason, my pictures are extremely dirty. So there is just so much dust and hairs and stuff on all of the pictures. And the lab I use, KHROME lab, usually whenever I get my film developed there, they are gonna like clean up the film for me. You know, if there's any dust on there, any hairs, they're gonna clean it off for me. But on these ones, they just said, yeah, no, that's your problem. So I had to kind of edit all of that stuff out myself, because they wouldn't do it, which I understand, because it was a lot. I don't entirely understand how that happened. I guess maybe just because of how old this camera is. There's a bunch of dust in there, so I tried cleaning it out before I had it out today. Let's hope that that does help, but I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna do anything about the issue. And the second issue is just slight light leaks on the edges of the frame, so these seals don't seem to be all too tight anymore. There's light getting through, which I guess you kind of have to expect stuff like that to happen on cameras that are this old, but it's still contained, it's still not too bad. You can still see pretty much everything I photographed, even though the image quality is maybe kind of reduced because there's slight light leaks on the edges, like a kind of a vignette type of effect. And of course I had to edit out all of the dust. But other than that, I'm pretty positively surprised with how the pictures turned out. I think I got some great shots. I mean, it's not gonna get any better than this. Oh. Wow. Could also go eat in there, which I'm not gonna do today. But I'm going to photograph the cows. I'm about to absolutely run back to my car because it's getting dark and I'm getting swarmed by like really disgusting flies, and I think they're trying to sting me, so I don't want that to happen. Anyways, I've had a great time shooting this camera. There's a few downsides, like I for sure did one double exposure today because I forgot to wind the film. And even if I don't forget to wind the film, sometimes I might like take pictures double because I'm not sure if I did a double exposure or anything like that. There's no sort of nothing to prevent that from happening, which is kind of annoying. And of course things like the light leaks, you know, again, very limited focusing. It's just a simple viewfinder camera. You guys know the deal. I've talked about it so many times here on the channel, but it's been fun shooting this camera, and that's really all that matters. And also I really like this location, and you can for sure expect me to film another video here at some point soon probably, because I for sure want to head up here maybe for lunch and spend more time in this location, because this really looks like there's so much potential for many great pictures. But today I'm not really going to have the time. I might take a few digital shots on my digital camera before I leave, but yeah, this location is for sure worth coming back. Anyways, I already recorded my outro on the first day I was out shooting, so let's cut to that. What's up happening with my hair? What the hell am I doing? I look absolutely insane, but well, let's cut to the outro. Well guys, that was it for today. I'm really interested to see how today's pictures have turned out and how well this camera even still works. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more videos just like this coming up, hopefully very soon. Anyways, I'm going to have my outro screen over here with my playlist of all of my film photography videos, and just another video that's similar to this one. I think I'm just gonna put the video I made about another folding camera, the Balda Baldinette, down here. You're gonna like that video as well if you like this one. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.